Hey, how is everyone doing out there? Happy 4th of July! And I am here to bring you a review of the Marvel Legends 20th anniversary Captain America in that classic vintage Toy Biz packaging. Let me start off by saying that this is such a nostalgia bomb for me. The packaging here harkens back to those days 20 years ago when I started collecting Marvel Legends. In all honesty, the only thing missing for me would be the big plastic covering that used to cover the entire blister card. Other than that and the Hasbro logos, everything is exact. The colors, the logos on the sides of the different characters, everything is just great. It's just fantastic. I really dig the font, series 1 font, the stickers, which by the way they used to actually say how many points of articulation the figure had. Right there it just says reversible backdrop, but like, oh, the positioning of the character, all the accessories on the sides, everything is just so great. It's just amazing. I cannot gush over enough of the packaging. It's just, the Hasbro logos, just certain things that are obviously telltale signs that this is just a reproduction. This is definitely not the Series 1 Marvel Legends from 2002. But yeah, like just the text in the back explaining that this line is being re-released in the anniversary celebration of the line. Fun fact, it says Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, and Toad. Toad was initially not announced, but then he did get announced, and he's still up for pre-orders, and he should be dropping sometime in the winter. But yeah, the fact is that the figure is just nicely positioned, just the same way that it was back in the day. Yeah, like the figure, just right off of the packaging, it looks like it's gonna be a great figure. I can't wait to open them up, and I don't know. It's a shame to really get them out of the packaging. That's a good thing that I actually got a double. But yeah, let's get to it. Here comes the review. So I tried my best to get the, the bubble out of the packaging, but as you can see, even with my diligent cutting, I still managed to damage the card. It's okay though, like I said, I had an extra one, but here is the figure. And it's cool because like underneath that Marvel Legends logo is the stand that's gonna be used for the, pretty much there's a double-sided display board in the back, one that has the comic book cover that originally came with the Toy Biz Marvel Legend, and on the other side it's a background that's meant to represent like the stand, because back in the day they used to actually come with like actual stands and accessories. To be fair though, Toy Biz Marvel Legends never came with additional hands, which this Captain America is just stocked with, and I appreciate that. There's different varieties of hands. Also, you would not get any alternate head sculpts. If you wanted an alternate head sculpt, you would actually have to buy a variant version of the character. One notable example is the Marvel Legends Onslaught Wave Green Goblin that came with an alternate variant Norman Osborn head, and that was the only way that you were able to actually get an unmasked Green Goblin. And look at all these accessories. Look at all these like bullets, like ricochet kind of effects, along with like the swiping shield kind of like motion effect. It's just all around a great figure. I like the electricity around the shield. The head sculpt on the Steve Rogers is it's not too shabby. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot better than some of the other Hasbro head sculpts that they've done for Steve Rogers comic version, of course. They've been sometimes really sturdy, really big headed. But the figure, oh man, like, can I just say that this is probably the definitive Captain America. Look, and there's even paint washes. Like you could see, like there's a paint wash right there on his abs, and it actually stretches all the way up. It stretches all the way up to so they took their time to fully paint the figure. I like the scales around, like the chainmail around his suit. I think it's just perfect for him. It matches the Captain America. It's very reminiscent of that face-off cap, which used to be viewed as the definitive version of Captain America, but I think this one has it beat. And the articulation on it, it's your double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. Everything just works for this figure. The paint job is amazing. The proportions is amazing, which is something that before I would say that Hasbro and Toy Biz had not been able to quite master. Doesn't do the splits that much, but he could kick really high up. And one notable omission, however, that I think the face-off cap did have and this cap does not have is butterfly joints. Not that necessarily Captain America needs butterfly joints, but I think it would have been nice because I think it would have been able to like stretch out like the shield motion a bit further. Just give much more dynamic shots, the ability of giving much more dynamic shots. The head sculpt. I also want to say that the loose mask accessory, I don't know, it's not working for me, like the little hoodie, like the down hoodie. I don't know what I could do to improve it, but to me it's just a bit too loose. It's just all around. I don't, yeah, like I'm not that big of a fan of it, but that does not get in the way of the sculpt itself. So the shield that comes with this Captain America does have a multitude of effects included, and quite frankly, I will talk about the cons of it, but I'd rather have these effects than not have these effects. This is something that's new to the Captain America figure, and this is pretty original. One of the only defects to it is the fact that those peg holes are always present on the shield. There's no way to cover them up. There's no other shield that came included that could have possibly been a remedy. But the remedy I would suggest is for you guys to just scope out another Captain America figure. You probably have a bunch. Use one of the shields as a replacement instead. That's the best thing I could say. I mean, the paint job on the shield is incredible. I do like the gloss on it. And in the end, I would rather have this shield warts and all than, or should I say, peg holes and all, than not. I will say that when it came to the effects, the electricity effect is great, but I think my favorite was the second one, the one that has like a swoosh motion, like if it's actually movement with the shield. My least favorite effect is the one I'm struggling with right now, and that's like the ricochet bullets. I appreciate having it, but yeah, as you can see, they pop out. Not sure if it's just my Captain America that's having, or my Captain America shield that's having that problem, but look, you see them just constantly pop in and out. I'm sure in due time, maybe the pegs will become easier to slide into the holes, and this will be a non-issue. So it's not an end-all be-all, but yeah, like that's just one of the minor problems. I'm not gonna say that this Captain America, at least barring the sculpt, he does come with like problems and concerns to his accessories, but I wouldn't see them as major hindrances, especially when the cap that we got was pretty excellent. The hands are easily removable. As you can see, there's a multitude of hands: open palm hands, a saluting hand, a pointing finger hand, and yeah, I think you get bang for your buck when it comes to accessories here. Sure, the price is a bit more steeper on this, and it's not a good indicator of where Marvel Legends are heading, especially given that this is probably like these retro card lines are probably going to be the only ones in which you can actually see inside the sculpt and the figure, as Marvel Legends is moving towards that windowless packaging, which I think is a big mistake, but that's the story for another day. And watch Captain America salutes. And I think that would be the end of the line of like they tried doing the retro series in boxed, and you can't even, like, it's not even retro anymore, you know, like there's no point in doing that after that, in my opinion. Speaking of retro, when's the last time that a figure actually had a stand, that came with a stand? I want to say like since like Return of Marvel Legends, probably like back in like 2011, 2012. Wait, the Iron Man 3 line, 2013. That's the last time we actually had stands. And as you could see, that stand is meant to represent like the like a war-torn backdrop, and that's actually what the Captain America figure, the original one, came with. How do I know that? Bam! I still have my stand from back in the day, from 2002. Yes, I actually ordered it online. I couldn't find it in stores, and I ordered the Captain America online, and I got it in the mail after waiting like 4 weeks. It was well worth it. And yeah, I still have the stand, and it's just it's a relic from a different time, I want to say, along with this, the comic that it came included with. And as you can see, the assortment, they didn't say wave assortments, that's what they were called. Ultimate X-Men. All this is just vintage, especially the ads. Look at the ads. The Spider-Man action figures from the Sam Raimi movie. Sam Raimi went on to make no more Marvel films. Yeah, actually he did. But yeah, that vintage comic book, I still have it. And while the backdrop included with the new Hasbro is nice, they at this point charge me $40 and give me a stand reminiscent of those, especially with the excellent paint job. Hey, look, it's the original Captain America figure that I have. That's the original Cap, and as you can see, the proportions on this figure are kind of lengthy in comparison to the newer one. You know, his arms might be a little bit too long. His pecs are all really huge. You know, I know some chicks that would probably kill for those pecs. But anyways, I tried emulating like that whole Spider-Man pointing thing, at least with the one that actually could point. And this is the shield that actually came with that Captain America. Excellent shield, and I feel like just like Steve Rogers passed it down to Sam Wilson, I think the shield will be passed down to this Captain America. It's a continuation. You know, it's like poetry, it rhymes. And let me just say that the shield fits this Cap pretty well. I wouldn't say it's a, you know, perfect match, but it's definitely something that it fits with him. I don't know, look, that Toy Biz paint job, that's what I wanted to also talk about. Like, the paint job on the shield is amazing, and the paint job even on the figure is great. As much as I like the gloss on the newer one, there's just something so classic about that vintage figure, vintage shield, I mean. And even the background, look at the washes on that background with the war torn, you know, like just the paints, everything, you know. It's just, you don't get that from action figures anymore, and that's such a shame. The only way you could get paint apps like that is if you buy a premium figure that's like close to $100. And of course, the shield that the Cap came with does strap onto his back. And yeah, I want to say this is the definitive Captain America, and you cannot change my mind. The head sculpt on the figure is great. I want to say it's one of the better Captain America head sculpts. You could actually see his blue eyes. Well, not 100% blue. There is some bit of green in them. Hopefully you guys got that reference. But the Steve Rogers head, it's one of the better Steve Rogers heads that has been released. I know there was Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Steve Rogers, and I just felt the head on that figure was just way too big. But other than that, yeah, great figure. 9.8 out of 10. Definitive version of this figure. I love it. See you guys. Happy 4th of July.